For generations, Pride Rock has been the heart of the Circle of Life. Simba fought hyenas, Scar, and even his own fear to protect it. But what if the next great battle isn't against outsiders, it's against his own bloodline? Today, we're exploring what might happen if Kion's family and Simba's family turned against each other. What could spark it, and who would take sides? This isn't just another Lion King theory. This could be the Pride Land's first civil war. And trust me, you might find yourself picking a side you never expected. The Pride Lands weren't always this peaceful. As the king of Pride Lands, Simba fought for every inch of this kingdom. From Scar's brutal reign to surviving Zira's revenge, he's seen it all. But those battles weren't just about survival. Every scar, every roar, every decision Simba made was building toward this. A Pride Lands where the circle of life runs without fear. And this is where Simba's true fight starts. When his daughter Kiara fell in love with Kovu, the heir of Scar's most loyal follower, Zira, Simba had to face the hardest challenge of all, forgiving the past. He risked everything so Kiara could inherit a united kingdom. But what if that hard-earned peace is standing on the edge of a cliff? What if the sun rising over Pride Rock is not to bless a new heir, but to light a battlefield where lions of the same bloodline stare each other down? That's where Mufasa's dream, balance, and harmony within the circle of life could shatter in an instant. And for Simba, that meant more than just passing down a crown. It meant shaping a future through his two very different heirs, Kiara and Kion. Kiara is the firstborn, and from the moment she was held up by Rafiki, everyone knew she would be queen one day. So her whole life has been about learning to lead and protect the Pride Lands. And where is Kion? He is Simba's son too. In many animal groups, the male cub is seen as the next leader. That could make some lions feel Kion should have been the one to inherit Pride Rock. This small question could grow into a much bigger problem. Some other younger lions in the Pride could quietly say that Kion is stronger because he has the supernatural power, the roar of the elders. That power is so strong it can move mountains and scatter entire armies. Even they might believe he is the true leader chosen by the great kings of the past. But Kiara's supporters would disagree. They would argue that she has followed the path of a queen from the very start. They might say that the circle of life is about more than strength. It is about wisdom and keeping the peace. This is where the story hits its climax. Soon, the Pride could split into two sides. One side supports Kiara, the rightful heir. The other side looks to Kion as the lion who should rule. What starts as whispers could turn into loud debates, and loud debates could turn into a fight for the throne. But the struggle over the throne is only part of the story. Kiara and Kion don't just live under the same sky anymore, they lead two different worlds. And when those worlds collide, the conflict grows far bigger than just Pride Rock. Kion now rules the Tree of Life along with Queen Rani. The Tree of Life is a special place where many animals come when they are hurt or sick. It is where the roar of the elders was born. The Night Pride lives there to protect the land around the great tree. At the same time, Kiara prepares to rule Pride Rock. Her kingdom has its own problems: threats from outsiders, the need for food, and keeping the peace in the Pride Lands. Kiara's supporters expect her to follow in Simba's path and lead with wisdom. The difference in their lives could make conflict almost unavoidable. Kion spends time at the Tree of Life, dealing with rare animals, sickness, and helping the weak. Pride Rock, on the other hand, must worry about survival and politics. The goals of these two kingdoms might not always line up. Maybe the Tree of Life can close the borders to protect animals. Pride Rock might need allies, trade, or to move animals for safety. If Kion and Rani refuse help from Pride Rock, or vice versa, trust could break. Small disagreements about how to help could turn into anger. Another point of tension is the roar of the elders. Kion has used it before to protect both Pride Rock and the Tree of Life. But what if Pride Rock feels that the roar should be used only for their threats, or that Kion uses it in ways that favor Tree of Life first? That kind of fear could spark a real war. So the Battle of Kingdoms is more than territory. It's about purpose, priorities, and loyalty. One kingdom seeks peace and healing. The other must stand guard, manage resources, and maintain order. When these two roles collide, the very bond of blood between Kiara and Kion might be tested in ways no one expected. If Kiara and Kion's conflict ever turned into a fight, it would shake the Pride Lands like never before. Instead, a fight between lions and hyenas. This would be lions facing lions, family facing family. Now think about the Pride Rock at sunrise. Kiara and Kovu stand tall, calling their pride to defend the land. And down below, Kion arrives with the Night Pride and animals from the Tree of Life at his side. Even the sky might feel heavy, as if the great kings are watching in silence. Because this battle is more than about claws and roars. It would be about belief. Each side would think they are fighting for what is right. Kiara would want to keep Pride Rock safe. Kion would believe he must protect the Circle of Life, even if it means standing against his sister. As Kion would attack with the roar of the elders shaking the ground, dust rises and animals scatter. The lions on both sides hesitate because they know they are fighting their own blood. This battle would test everyone. Friends could turn into rivals. Mothers could stand against sons. Even Timon and Pumbaa might be forced to choose which side to stand with. Even that war between Kiara and Kion would not last forever, but how it ends could change the Pride Lands for all time. One ending could bring peace. Kiara and Kion might realize that their fight is tearing apart everything their father worked so hard to protect. Instead of choosing one kingdom over the other, they could agree to work together. Kiara could remain the ruler of Pride Rock while Kion continues to lead the Tree of Life. This would unite the lands in a way never seen before and create the strongest Circle of Life yet. Another ending could be far more heartbreaking. To stop the war, someone might have to make the ultimate sacrifice. Kiara could give up Pride Rock so Kion could rule, or Kion might leave the Pride Lands behind and never return. This would stop the fighting, but it would leave deep scars on the royal family, and the Pride Lands might never feel the same again. But the most dramatic ending of all could happen if a new threat appeared in the middle of the war. A villain even more dangerous than Scar could rise, forcing both sides to put aside their anger. Kiara and Kion would have to fight side by side, just like Mufasa and Scar once did. No matter which ending plays out, the Pride Lands would never be the same. The battle could turn into a story told for generations. So what do you think? Do Kiara and Kion shake paws and unite both kingdoms, or does one of them walk away from Pride Rock forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments.